and this one's flashed with Wi-Fi Gator firmware. So let's take a look. We have router name, well, WAN setup in my case is automatic, it's just plugged into the upstream router. And then router name, I have this as 00001, as many of you do. This router IP is 12.0.1.1. Everything else is just defaulted, and then I set the time zone down here. So that's it in setup. Let's look at wireless. This particular device is in AP mode. So the first physical interface here is the transmission out of that AP, the SSID, which will pass through ChiliSpot. In this case, mine is called test. I have a virtual interface called private network 001, as you do you. I have another virtual interface called uplink E. Let's look at, and everything else is default there. Just add the interfaces and give them a name and click Save Settings. Okay, let's look at wireless security. Here we have 3 interfaces shown again. The first one's our ChiliSpot interface at the physical interface, and so we don't want any security on it. The next one, our private network virtual interface 1, we do want some WEP 64-bit, and so I give this one a key, 000, all the rest 7s. And then this one here, uplink E, give it a key, whatever you want. Okay, advanced settings, you can go turn up the power or whatever. You already know that. Services. Nothing really needs to happen in here, but in here is where you could set this to LAN and wireless LAN, and then click add and put static leases to other devices downstream from this. But we want to go to hotspot. ChiliSpot enabled. Separate Wi-Fi from LAN bridge, enable. I want primary radius server is, in this case, it's set to my slice host. Backup radius server, same thing. DNS, my DNS for my provider. Remote network, don't mess with it, leave it alone. Redirect URL is my slice host IP address with hotspot login.php tacked on the end. Shared key testing 1, 2, 3. DHCP interface is WLAN. If there's multiple choices for that, pick the first one. Some of these have a bug where it says WLAN like 3 times in a list, so pick the first one in the list. And then radius NASID, in my case this is Lexus. UAM secret, testing 1, 2, 3. UAM any DNS, 0. My UAM allowed field's already filled in. MAC auth is disabled, but you could enable it if you want to go do that. Save settings. Now, let's try it. Let's log into my slice host account a minute here. Okay, I have my links as SSID there for my neighbors. And I've got my stuff here. I've got links as to my PayPal. Cool. So let's get out of there. And this is my wonderful page for these people, for my neighborhood. Okay, so let's set a price plan here. I want a half hour enabled for 0.05 nickel. And I'll leave everything else on for the moment here. Set prices. Boom. Now I have a nickel plan there. Go down here, log out. That's all I really needed to do. Now let's go turn off that LAN interface on my PC and switch to wireless, because I actually have a wireless card in here. And let's have a look at that. I'm connected to test because I've already had it set to that. So good to go there. See what my IP is though. Properties. Oh whoops. Support. Yep, 192.168.182.2. So Chili gave me an IP. So let's just see what happens if we try to log in. Goes to Google, but Google's an approved site. Try to go to MSN or anywhere but Google. And there's my splash page, just like I hit it with the laptop. First time I would see that. Cool. I want to buy a half hour for a nickel. Goes to this page. Should read the customer agreement. It says, okay, this pops up. You can edit that. It's in the root web directory, www. Put your header in there. So let's buy this. PayPal, buy now. Says it's going to pay me. Okay, I logged into PayPal. It's confirming that I'm going to get item 1800, which is 1800 seconds. A half hour of Wi-Fi internet access for 1 nickel. Pay now. Payment has been completed. I'm now being redirected to Oregon Microscience Corporation. This part takes forever too. It says 10 seconds, it takes like 20 to 30 seconds. There it redirected me back, said success. This is success.php. It issued me my username and password right here, but I also can, it also sent an email. Click here to log in. Back to the login page. Says I'm logged in. Now I can minimize this and save it and log out later, or I can click to go to Google. I suggest, if I wanted to save my time, I would just minimize this and open another browser. And with this browser I can go to any web page I want to. I'm online now. So it worked. YouTube. So let's see what happens if I click my log out. It says I'm now logged out. Okay. Let's go back to YouTube. Try to go to msn.com now. It says nope. Log back in. I logged out. So there's an example of the system up and running right there. Done deal.